Hello, this is Gary at Jack Raven Bushcraft. Thank you for watching our video. This week I'm going to show you how to process sweet chestnut to make fibres for cordage making. You can extract fibres from a standing dead sweet chestnut, but in my experience those fibres are better used for tinder than they are for cordage making. So for cordage, what I'm going to do is cut down a live stem. So right next to me here, this is a coppiced sweet chestnut. So I'm going to take this stem out. There are probably another 15 or 20 growing out of this same tree. So in terms of sustainability, sweet chestnut is a good resource. I've got a log here about 1.5 meters or so, 5 foot long. And so what I'm going to do now is use the back of a folded saw, and I'm going to scrape off all of this outer bark so that I reveal the bast layer underneath. So this time of year, as the sap is rising, it is relatively straightforward to scrape this off. That's the outer bark scraped off along the whole length of the log, and now we can see that inner bast layer. I've placed the log onto a workbench, and I'm going to use my knife and score a series of lines down the length of the log, about 5 centimeters, 2 inches or so apart. So that will allow me to be able to peel strips of bark off. So I'm going to hold the knife like this, kind of Norman Bates style, but actually what I'm going to do is then pull like this with my left hand. So as opposed to pulling with my right hand, I'll use my left hand like this to guide it, and that's a much safer cut. So I know that's I'm going to go with about a strip about 2 inches or so. I'm trying to keep these lines more or less parallel. So now I just need to turn the log and repeat that process a few more times. I've cut a series of lines more or less parallel, and now what I could do is just start to remove these strips of bark all the way along the log, like so, and then just repeat that. And this is a fairly straightforward process. I've got 6 nice strips of the bast layer from the sweet chestnut stem. What I'm going to do now is roll these up into a little coil and put them in a tub. I'm just going to tie them together with a bit of nettle fibre just to keep them bound up. I have 6 strips of inner bark all coiled up. What I'm going to do now is to put them in a tub of water. So this is a process known as retting. So retting is when we submerge the bark in water, and what that does is starts to break down the bonds between the various layers, and essentially they peel apart, and that is what will produce us the fibres. Now ideally I'd want to submerge these in running water. Unfortunately we don't have any running water up here, so what I'm going to do is just pop them in a tub here that I have. And what I need to do now is just weigh them down a little bit so that they are fully submerged. I've put a few bits of flint on top of the inner bark there just to keep it all submerged. I'm going to come back and check on this periodically, but my expectation is that it will be submerged here for 2 to 3 weeks before it's ready for its next stage. About 7 weeks have passed now. The water is considerably murkier than when the sweet chestnut bark went in, and it is also considerably smellier. With that said, it is about ready. So if I look at this, you can see these strips now start to peel away. So these laminates are all good to peel away. So I'm just going to undo the little fastenings like this to unroll it, and then just start to separate out these layers of bark. Like so these are the bits that I want to use. So what I can do with these now is just split them down into finer pieces like this, and once I've done that to all of them, I'm going to give them a very good wash, and then I'm going to give my hands a very good wash, and then I'm going to bundle them back up again and tie them up hanging from a tree so that we can get some air to it to let them dry out again. I hope that's something you can incorporate into your own bushcraft skill set. I will try my best to get some more content out next week, but I can't guarantee it. Make sure you don't miss out anyway. You could subscribe either to our blog or to our YouTube channel, either of which are Jack Raven Bushcraft. Until then, take care.